The bet that broke more than his pride. The desert sun hung low over the Texas horizon, baking the dust into gold and fire. The town of Laredo had gathered like it always did on a Friday night around McCree's saloon, where whiskey poured faster than water and bets were made louder than church bells on Sunday. Colt Maddox, the kind of cowboy who wore his reputation like a second hat, sat at the poker table with that slow, easy grin that made men nervous and women curious. He had calloused hands from roping cattle, eyes that could slice through smoke, and the kind of luck that made him nearly untouchable. Nearly. The cards slid across the table, and a hush fell over the room. The stakes were higher than they'd ever been. Ranch deeds, prize horses, even the sheriff's golden pocket watch. Colt should have walked away. He'd won enough for one night. But pride's a mean thing. And pride whispered in his ear that no man at that table could beat him. When Travis Boone, the rival rancher with a jaw like granite and a laugh that could curdle milk, laid down his cards, Colt's smile faltered. The room erupted as Travis leaned back, smoke curling from his cigar. Colt had lost. Not just the round. He'd lost everything he put down on the table. The laughter stung more than the loss. "Well now, Maddox," Travis drawled. "A man like you ought to know when his luck's dried up." Colt tipped his hat low, trying to swallow the bitter taste of defeat. But then Travis's eyes slid toward the back of the saloon, where a woman leaned against the door frame like she owned the whole damn town. Her hair spilled like wildfire, her boots were caked in dust, and her gaze was sharper than any blade. "Tell you what," Travis continued, "you lost, but I ain't without mercy. I'll settle the score fair. You see that woman? That's Bella Ray Dawson, toughest ranch hand, meanest bronc buster, and the only woman who ever made a cowboy cry. If you can last one night under the same roof with her, Colt, you win everything back. If not, you walk out of Laredo with nothing but shame." The room went silent. All eyes darted to Bella Ray. She pushed off the wall, sauntered over with a sway in her hips that was both danger and promise, and looked Colt dead in the eye. "You up for it, cowboy?" she asked, voice smooth as whiskey but sharp as broken glass. Colt's pride wouldn't let him back down. He tipped his hat and said, "Ma'am, I reckon I don't scare easy." The crowd roared. The deal was struck. That night Colt found himself standing at the threshold of Bella Ray's cabin on the edge of town. The place was small but sturdy, smelling of leather, hay, and wild lavender. Inside, Bella was already pouring 2 glasses of bourbon. She didn't smile, didn't bat an eyelash. Instead, she set the drink in front of him and said, "You think you won some prize, Maddox? Let me tell you something. Men around here think they can tame me like a horse." The woman who broke his bed. By midnight, the moon cast silver shadows across Bella Ray's cabin. Outside, coyotes howled. Inside, the air was thick with heat, tension, and the kind of energy that could split wood. Colt had been in gunfights, rodeos, and stampedes, but nothing prepared him for the storm that was Bella Ray. She was wild thunder in human form, laughter sharp and sweet, hands strong enough to rope a bull, yet soft enough to make a man forget the world. She pushed, pulled, tested every ounce of Colt's grit, and Colt, stubborn as the dust beneath his boots, gave as good as he got. It wasn't long before the bedframe groaned under the weight of their battle. It was no ordinary fight. It was pride against pride. Will against will, a dance of fire and fury. Every slam of her hand against his chest, every shove, every challenge came with sparks that lit the night brighter than any lantern. The wooden frame creaked, snapped, then shattered with a crack like a rifle shot. They collapsed in laughter, tangled in sheets and splinters, breathless and alive. "Looks like you finally broke something worth remembering," Colt panted, brushing hair from her face. Bella Ray grinned, sweat shining on her brow. "Didn't think you'd last this long, cowboy. Most men run before the bed breaks." Colt tilted his head, eyes blazing with mischief. "Maybe I'm not like most men." The truth was he wasn't. For the first time, Bella Ray didn't see just another cocky rancher trying to win her like a trophy. She saw a man who could match her fire without trying to snuff it out. Her walls, built taller than the mesquite trees, cracked just enough to let him in. She let out a laugh, softer this time, and said, "Careful, Maddox. A night like this can turn into forever." When the dawn broke, Travis Boone rode out to the cabin expecting to see Colt crawling away in defeat. Instead, he found Colt leaning against the porch rail, hat tipped low, grinning like he'd discovered gold. Behind him, Bella Ray emerged, hair a wild mess, eyes gleaming with a rare softness. Travis froze, stunned silent as Colt called out, "Looks like I won more than my bet, Boone. Turns out, I won the only woman in Texas who could break my bed and still leave me begging for more." The crowd that had followed Travis to witness Colt's shame broke into cheers and hollers. Travis turned red as fire, spat in the dirt, and rode off, cursing under his breath. The legend was sealed. Colt Maddox, the cowboy who lost a bet, had won something greater: Bella Ray Dawson's respect, her fire, and maybe even her heart. From that day forward, folks in Laredo swore the two were inseparable, their love as wild and untamed as the Texas plains themselves. And whenever anyone asked Colt if losing that bet was worth it, he'd grin and say, "Worth every damn card I lost."